greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents, you know what it is, say what, comic book talk. How y'all doing out there? Thank you for joining us tonight. It's going to be interesting discussion. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to everyone out there who has actually, become a part of this show, who subscribed to the show. You've been a very important part to the success of this show, as we have actually crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark. So I do want to thank everyone who is here tonight. Do want to say I do appreciate that. And everybody who was just involved, from some of the panel, the hosts, everyone who's actually come on board and who's been a part of this ride, and you the subscribers, everybody's out in the chat, and you've been a part of something that's been spectacular, and I do thank you for that. From the bottom of my heart. Again, I do want to, I'm just going to address the chat right off the top. We have, Joe Mama's in the building. Thank you for that. Dave C, thank you very much. Single songwriter, thank you. We got, let's see who else we got in here. Lynch Design. We got Kinky Sphinxter. Man, thank you, man. Mike Fiala. We got Casey Dixon in the building. Who else we had? We had Bad Fish 5447 Link. How you doing, man? Saya Dream. My partner in crime. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Simon, Latoya T. We have quite a few people. Brian Hepburn. So glad to see you in here, man. Again, everybody, from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate this. And yes, since we have reached 1,000 subscribers plus more. We've actually gone up to like 1,050 so far, and it's still climbing. I do want to basically remind everyone here that giveaway is happening. Now we have reached the point for the giveaway, and how we're going to actually do this, though. The giveaway will happen on Thursday night. Make sure you actually tune in to the Uncivilized Scoundrels show. That night is where we will have the live giveaway. So everybody in the chat, you want to tune in now. Here's what you want to do, okay? Before you actually tune in, there's a couple of different things that I'm going to actually need you to do first, okay? Just to assure and that you actually have a chance at winning, this gift that we're giving away. Now, how you want to ensure that you're giving this away is, now, mind you, this is sponsored by Collector Zone, okay? Now, with Collector Zone, basically, they are the ones, and my man Marcos over at Collector Zone, he's the one who's contributed the gift, which is, the Grogu in co-pilot chair. And that's a half-scale statue by Diamond Select. So that will be given away on Thursday, and that will be given away live on Thursday, Uncivilized Scoundrels. What you want to make sure that you do is you want to actually go log on and become a member of the Collector Zone Cantina. Now, when you do that, you want to say, look, Lael sent us here. So when you do subscribe, say Lael sent you from, of course, the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. You subscribe to Collector Zone Cantina, and you say Lael sent you. So basically you are in the winning, but at the same time, you've already subscribed, and we will give that away live. Again, this is sponsored by Collector Zone. My man Marcos has some amazing stuff over there. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for being a part of the show. It's going to be a very interesting show tonight, and of course, I have the usual suspects, my guys, my bros, my people. You want to call me enablers? It's a bunch of enablers on this screen in their own right, their own way. But I appreciate them. They're my brothers. I'm happy that they're here. I love them all. Vinny, what's going on with you, bro?
What's good, brother? First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you very much, man.
I know it's a lot of work, a lot of time. You put a lot of effort into making these shows enjoyable and fun and reliable, and it's a lot of professionalism, and I salute you.
Oh, man, appreciate that. Thank you very much,
man.
bro. I do appreciate that, man. My man Brendan, partner in crime, co-host. He's high yellow. He ain't white. He's high yellow. What's going on with you, bro?
Mm-hmm.
I take all the credit. I take all the credit. It's all it is.
Oh man.
No, man, congrats. You've been busting your ass, so
Oh man.
you've been doing it right.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to just be along and just kind of stir shit up. That's what I do.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, it's been a good couple of months.
Yeah.
I think you hit the 1,000 faster than I think a lot of people thought. Just because,
Yeah.
right now there are a lot of. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're in most of them, but like, there's a damn stream or 10 every night.
Yeah.
And killers out there, between Justin and Robert Meyer Burnett and
Yeah.
Ryan and the collecting guys and stuff. So it's been good to see the community grow with all the different streamers on YouTube and have it be like a positive environment. And you've been a big part of that. So it's been good, man. I'm proud of you.
Man, appreciate it. You know that we we in this together. We ride this boat together. This is what we've been doing over here. We've been putting in the work. We've been making sure that we bring you great content. We have great personality. That it's a very safe and positive community over here. And this is what we want to actually promote and make sure that it's nothing but positivity. There's no hate against any other live, content creator. We don't do that. We support each other. This is basically our job. This is what we want to do, is support one another. Make sure that we create, an environment where you can express yourself. You can be a part of something big. Hopefully, I hope to meet everybody out there. A few people that are actually just logged on. Bob Dylan, you already know it's time for you to come through. There will possibly be a gift moment, so we'll see. Tobar's in the building. We got 6 Scale Reviews, Funky Cold Santa. It's quite a few, man. Like, I'm so glad. Now, remember, everybody who's hitting right now, if you just joining us, we have reached the 1,000 subscriber. So now basically we will be giving away the Diamond Select Grogu in co-pilot chair on Thursday night. That will be given away on Thursday night on Uncivilized Scoundrels. So you are in the chance to win this. What you want to do, again, make sure that you already subscribed. I did get a few people who actually said that they were recommended, so I do appreciate that. But also, everybody here, make sure that you log on and join the Collector Zone Cantina Facebook group, and you tell them that Lael the Enabler sent you. So make sure you tell them that. And once you become a part of that, you are in the winning. You could be selected. So we'll do the selection live on Thursday night on Uncivilized Scoundrels, the Star Wars show. You know what that is. So I can't wait to see you guys there. Guys, tonight, though, interesting discussion. I see we got a few shirts on here that, a few people that, got the shirts on. They're ready for this. Everybody's ready for this. And this is basically, like I said, tonight is dedicated to you, the fans, everybody who is and will be fans of DC content. We're doing this live tonight. We want to make sure that we're bringing this to you. And I did promise you this is what we would actually jump into.
And Notre Dame football.
And Notre Dame football.
Yes.
So definitely, I am so happy that you guys are here tonight. So, you know what? Before we begin, okay, before we jump into the meat of it, I'm just going to ask. I'm going to go around. We're going to go around, and I'm going to ask a very important question. I'm gonna start with you, Vinny. We're gonna go to Brendan, and I'm saving the best for last, Jedi Kid, because I know, like I said, this is something near and dear to his heart.
C.
So I'm gonna ask a question, and you know what? This question is not just for the panel, but this question is also for everyone out there in the chat. And I'm gonna ask this very important question. Okay, you ready for this?
No, we'll see.
Can the DC universe be redeemed?
Oh, this is an easy one.
Oh man,
Be a hard question.
So I'm asking this questions for a specific reason. Can the the DCEU universe be redeemed? Okay.
What's your definition?
Not DC Comics. DCEU.
Now, DC, not the comics, because we already know the comics is there, but the DCEU. Can the DCEU be redeemed?
When you say redeemed, do you mean they can find a cohesive thread moving forward, or do
Save
they
your
have
answer.
to make sense of
I
shit
got
that's
an
happened?
answer. I already
Just
got an answer.
hold that, because the thing is, Brendan, you're going somewhere, but I want you to hold that, because when it comes to you, you're going to be able to go, because I know where you're going. So hold that. Vinny, you go first, okay? So this is a wide thing. From whatever you basically think, this is why. It's not just actually centered. It's not. We're not trapping you in the box. This is why. We're talking about the DCEU and the whole. We're talking about since controversy. Everything that's actually going on over there with Warner Brothers, Walter Hamada. Everything that was going on with Ray Fisher. Everything that's actually happened going forward. Them not, giving Henry Cavill Man of Steel 2. Not giving Ben Affleck, Batman, or him not being able to direct, and everything that's actually going on over there, and even with Zack Snyder, all that. Do you think, Vinny, that going forward, that they can be redeemed? I'm gonna pass it to you. You go first.
Absolutely. We have come back from fucking Schumacher Batman. We can come back from this. There has been so many horrible movies and outputs from Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. We've seen Catwoman. There's so many swinging and misses. Superman 4, Quest for Peace. You know what I mean? This isn't the first time they've stumbled. This is their property, their home. They don't have someone else saying, "Oh, it has to make a certain amount of money, or so it never happen again." This is all them saying yes or no. And the fans, every time they do something right, they forget. Fans have short memories.
Yep.
You put out something that's quality, they will forgive you and move on.
Right.
We've seen one of the most polarizing team superhero movies, one of the most ambitious projects, just absolutely come out the gate and fall on our face. And 3, 4, 5 years later, we see fans providing so much pressure on Warner Brothers that they put out a movie that they didn't even want to put out, and had an entire community saying, "See, this is what we wanted. You have an entire fan base and community begging them to try to get their shit together." It is an abusive domestic relationship. These fans, us fans who love DC and want to see them neck and neck with Marvel, because it is going to be so much better if there's two. We don't want DC to fail. We want Marvel and DC movies to coexist, and us to see billion-dollar Superman movies right up there with the billion-dollar Iron Man movies. Both. And it's absolutely right there. It's so simple. It's so easy. The blueprints are there, and there's a million ways to skin a cat. There's other ways to do it without following Marvel's blueprint. So all it takes is, several things we talked about before, with a recommitted, purpose towards putting out a cohesive continuity, because we're talking about DCEU, not just one shots that they're great at, because it's less pressure to organize on a large scale. Because to organize on a large scale, you need a lot more moving parts controlled and under a better direction than what they're capable of right now. That's right now. They're capable of putting together across the board created universe, and they're able to do it. And the fans, whenever time they do something right, and Aquaman or Batman Begins or Man of Steel, every time they reboot something or try something new and it works, the fans go, "Okay, great, more of that." And then they go, "Okay, cool, you want more of that? Oh, here's Birds of Prey." And it's like, no, go back, that. And once they start listening to fans, the fans will be there. They're sitting there waiting. It's just like Star Wars. When you put out The Last Jedi and people shit on it, they're right there to be opposite scale of the spectrum when you put out Mandalorian. Those Star Wars fans, or same boat as DCU fans, gave a shitty product, and when they were given something that was great, they were there waiting on it, willing to forgive. The DCEU is absolutely salvageable, but WB has to actually want to be saved.
Good answer. I mean, hey, good answer when it comes to that. Mr. Riley, because I know, like I said, you sitting up there twiddling your beard like Obi-Wan, and I know you got some, you know what I mean? Obi-Wan Riley,
Hello there.
Change your name to Obi-Wan Rowley, bro, please.
The short answer is yes and no. Now get ready for the long fucking answer. All right. On the no side, they can't erase what they already did wrong. Especially with the debacle with Zack Snyder, the debacle with Ray Fisher, where they just royally screwed that up. The inconsistencies that they've had, you can't then all of a sudden retcon that and make it work, right? The only way that I could see them making the existing DCEU, like from a story perspective, work is if they let Zack Snyder finish his story.
Agreed.
And that's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that DC films can't succeed moving forward. It just means that they're not going to put shoe shine on shit and all of a sudden make it beautiful, right? And that's not to say everything they've done is shit. They've had some big hits and some big misses. So I don't think it's like, when we say, can the DCEU be salvaged, when I think we're talking about DC films, because I don't know, I don't think that the interconnected universe that they were creating and the story that they were trying to tell can ever be 100% salvaged, because even if you used Flashpoint to kind of reset a lot of stuff, which I think they're going to do, and I'm happy about that, at the same time, we all know what happened. We all know that they didn't deliver on the promise of that interconnected DCEU that they made so long ago. I don't want that to sound negative, because I'm still very excited for Flashpoint and what they do beyond. I'm still very intrigued by this new Batman movie. I think that there are a lot of exciting things happening on the HBO Max front with the Batgirl movie, with the Gotham PD series. There's rumors now that they're actually going to have Colin Farrell do a Penguin series on HBO Max. Flashpoint, we could, we're going to see Michael Keaton back, which for, us, 80s kids, like that's huge. So there's a lot of reason to be hopeful and to be positive when we're talking about the DC films moving forward. But I'm separating those from DCEU, because DCEU, I think of, Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, all of those, and we're not going to have the conclusion that I think we want and deserve for that. So I don't think that's going to be salvaged. I think the Flashpoint will be a way for us to kind of just accept those fuck ups and move forward in a positive way. Yeah. So that's not going to be salvaged in my mind, but I think there's a lot of hope moving forward for DC films. I still don't know if I have much faith in their ability to create an interconnected DC universe moving forward. I almost kind of wish that they would just stick to trying to do one-shots, because I don't think they have the structure. I don't think Warner Brothers has the structure to be able to do that. I think they would need to make a DC Films studio like Marvel has, and have somebody spearhead that who is not a Warner Brothers executive, but they are a hardcore DC motherfucker. Mm-hmm. That's what they need.
Hire me.
And so I'm kind of the mind that let Flashpoint like do some really cool stuff, and maybe that we just then kind of explore. It's like it's the Elseworlds tales, the Elseworlds comic books. That's what we're getting, is just because we already know that like this new Matt Reeves Batman movie, it doesn't take place in the DCEU continuity that we've had. So that's where I'm at. I just think that there's a lot of hope and a lot of reason to be positive moving forward with this stuff. But I think if we're tying our hopes to them rectifying the mistakes that have been made with the DCU EU up till this point, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment because Warner Brothers has not given us a shred of evidence that they can handle that. They just haven't. So let's get some really talented filmmakers to make some really cool stories, and just enjoy those for what it is. You know, DC doesn't have to be. They don't have to create their version of the MCU. Nobody thought that Feige and Marvel and Disney were going to be able to create this behemoth that they've created. No one ever thought that was, was going to happen. Just like nobody ever thought that Iron Man and Avengers movies were going to be making billions of dollars while, Batman was floundering. Not floundering, but not making the same. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, I just think that there's a lot of reason to be hopeful and positive moving forward, as long as we don't, as the fans, set us up for disappointment, because Warner Brothers has proven that they are very willing to accommodate that.
Nice answer. Jedi Kid, I know you got a lot to say, bro. I call you like the new wild card of the group, the bunch. So, what's on your mind, bro? Preach.
So my thing is, okay, my problem with this whole DCEU thing is Warner Brothers. They are the poison in the water. They're the snake in the plane. They just don't let the writers or the comic writers that Jeff Johns, I got rid of him. Like, come on, the guy works for DC. He's a writer for DC. Like, the fans want to see these stories. And for them to keep killing everything, like no Man of Steel 2, no Justice League 2, the Flashpoint, not even called Flashpoint anymore, it's called just the Flash. So the Flashpoint that we know from the comics with Aquaman fighting Wonder Woman, them capturing Clark's pod, it landed in Metropolis and they made him a lab rat. That won't be seen in this movie at all, because WB wanted that. Nobody asked for Birds of Prey. Nobody asked for the Harley Quinn movie. These are movies, and they're just throwing junk at us right now because they had problems with Zack Snyder. They had problems with Justice League and the way he wanted to write it. So, Zack had to step down because, God forbid, he lost his daughter the way he lost his daughter. So that was the reason why he stepped away from the project. So he want to finish it, of course. But the way WB is running DC right now is just, it's not going to happen. And as a DC fan, like, it pisses me off. Like, me and you, El, we talked about the DC stuff like one-on-one, like plenty of times, bro.
Yeah.
So you know how I feel about how they're doing, how WB's doing DC, Henry Cavill. You're going to make Marvel pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to push him out the door to make Marvel pick him up. They already been talking to him about Captain Britain. So that's already out there in the open. Okay, you're going to push Ben Affleck out the door. I think, to me, in my opinion, one of the most perfect Batman balances of Bruce Wayne and Batman, other than Michael Keaton. To me, I like Christian Bale's Batman, but Ben, like, and I didn't think he was going to be that good as Batman, bro, at all. So he blew me away. But for WB to cut that off like that, it's like, come on. Like, you're kicking the fans in the balls, to be honest with you. That's just how it is to me. And I agree with what B was saying, was like, how Marvel has their own studio, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Disney might be the conglomerate, the umbrella, but Marvel has their own studios.
Mm-hmm.
DC needs their own movie studio, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as WB is in the mix, they're going to keep giving us crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm praying, even though they changed the name from the Flashpoint to Flash, because they just got rid of the whole, they don't even want to use the story of Flashpoint, which could have reset everything like B was saying. But they're not going to do that, bro, because they're not even naming it Flashpoint anymore. Which
makes me
sucks.
nervous.
Bro, they changed it, bro. Like,
changing that does make me nervous.
Dude, they changed it in the middle of production, bro.
Yeah.
That's WB.
That might have actually been an intelligent decision, though, because just like Russo's not wanting to call it Infinity Gauntlet or to say
Mhm.
War 1 and 2. They might have wanted to get away from fans seeing that a Flashpoint movie is coming, reading the Flashpoint comic, then seeing the movie and how different it was. That gives them kind of you know, a distance from the story so that they don't have that pressure.
But it just
I don't
kills
know if
me
I
though,
believe
bro.
that though, because movie studios make films based on books and TV shows and stuff like that all the
Right.
time with the
Right.
same name, trading on that, but then completely change it and piss people
Obliterate
off.
the story. Right.
This
But
to
that's
me,
what's
Flashpoint
happening.
is such a big thing. And people were actually like, you guys could actually do something right with this and use
Right.
this to kind of. So I feel
But
like
it's been warned
changing
you
that.
they're not going to.
Right, but that's
As long as
that's
WB's
my
in the
issue.
mix,
You know
bro.
that before you go into a story like Flashpoint, if you're going to
Right.
even touch that or not. So
Right.
for them to be like calling it Flashpoint, but then waffling on that, and then halfway through production change the name and ditch that,
That's crazy,
makes me
dude.
nervous that maybe the film is not really what
Right.
they set out
Right.
to make.
Right.
I'm-
To cut out Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Like when Flash goes back, the wars between those two.
But did you expect that? I don't.
But when they said Flashpoint,
Anything from Flashpoint, I expect your expectations are way too high. How many times do they have to try to?
I expected them to at least bring them
I
in
expected
because
them to
Jason
at least-
Momoa and Gal Gadot
Right.
are two massive
Right.
superstars,
And they still
that have
got
box
contracts.
office pull.
Right.
Whether or not they pulled off the story, I expected them to at least try,
At least
and
be there.
use those two
Right.
in that effort. So the fact that they're not even doing that just makes me very nervous.
I don't expect them to go above the bar, but at least meet the bar. You feel what I'm saying? Like at least meet it.
Well, what they've done in these previous movies with Batman vs Superman and Justice League is take little parts from different stories that they like Injustice or Flashpoint or
Frank Miller and all that. I know that.
And Superman versus Doomsday. All these little stories. They like. It's almost like they go through like a BuzzFeed DC article on the coolest DC stories in the past 20 years and be like, oh, that would be cool. And they just pick that and pluck that and put that in there. And at some point along the way, they thought Flashpoint name sounded really cool. So I feel like this is what we're going to get more of the same. We're probably going to get different cool moments from different DC stories and a whole bunch of stuff that the suits made up that they think is cool. And what we'll see in the trailers is the stuff that is from the comics, and then we'll see a whole bunch of stuff that the DC suits thought was an awesome idea throughout the rest of the film. So to me, I'm glad they changed the name of Flashpoint because I know not going into it not to expect Flashpoint. I know that Barry's going to be running around time changing shit, and that's about as far as Flashpoint as we're going to get. Do you think I expect to see, a note from Thomas to Bruce? I don't expect that. I don't expect Aquaman.
They cut him out, bro. They cut all that out, dude.
That shit, like, don't get me wrong. I'm Team Keaton too, as much as I love Affleck. I grew up on Keaton.
Yeah.
What does he have to do with Flashpoint? You know what I mean? It's there.
Nothing at all.
So it's just there. It's just them doing random shit and calling it Flashpoint. So they got rid of the name, so that way people weren't doubly pissed because it wasn't the Flashpoint story that they're expecting. So they're getting rid of that. It's dumb that they titled the Flashpoint in the first place. They should have just called it the Flash, so that way they can do whatever and call it a new idea going forward, doing what they've been doing. It's like if they call Superman vs. Batman The Dark Knight Returns and then only use that little part of the story, people are get more pissed than that they didn't do the whole, Dark Knight Returns story, proper. So I call it Flashpoint when it's really just a cool sounding name that they ain't going to do anything else with. So there's no point. I'm going into this just like every other DC film. Is just like they have all these, I don't know, just great source material ideas that they pluck from that we might see peppered into this, but otherwise I feel like it's going to be completely original for better or for worse film.
The funny thing is that DC is notorious for saying to the TV properties, you can't touch this character or this character because we're going to be using this character and stuff.
Don't even use them.
And there was this stretch after they used Deathstroke in the second season of Arrow, that they were the character basically disappeared for a couple seasons because they were like, Joe Manganiello's going to be doing Deathstroke on the big screen. We don't want you, touching that.
Dude.
There was all this, and the truth of the matter is, now they've had some swing and a miss, absolutely, in the TV universes. But I actually dug the Arrow show for what it was.
The first season of Arrow was incredible.
I
And
liked it, yeah. I liked it.
and there were some seasons that were weaker than others and stuff. But the crazy thing is that for all the bluster and all the like, don't touch this character, we're gonna just DC, like Warner Brothers films have come nowhere near the continuity and the quality of storytelling on a large scale that the Warner Brothers like television on the CW has done with the Arrow. And well, I mean, there are some bad shows, obviously, like Batwoman.
Oh yeah,
not
Batwoman
a good
was
show.
Horrible.
I had such high hopes. It's not a good show, but
the show was horrible.
Arrow and Flash, and when the crossovers they've done, all right,
Yeah.
the Crisis and things like that. They've obviously modified things because they don't have a lot of they don't have Wonder Woman and they don't have Batman and stuff like that. But they've at least done that. You look at Titans right now and Doom Patrol and stuff, which nobody say anything about the latest episode of Titans because I got to watch that tomorrow. I haven't watched that yet. But
it's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just we've seen better storytelling out of the television side than we have the Swamp Thing TV show, which got canceled, but like
was really good, man.
Versus what we've seen from Warner Brothers, and that's why I kind of go back and forth because on the one hand I'm like they need somebody like a Kevin Feige who gets this stuff and who can kind of shepherd these films along, but on the flip side I don't want them to be. I don't yet believe they have the capability to do this, so I don't want them to just try and create another interconnected universe and fail miserably. So that's why I'm kind of the mind of just like do one-offs, do one-shots, do the Elseworld stories, and stop trying to focus on, maybe you can have a crossover here and there, but just let it happen, like a Black Adam and a Shazam or something like that, or have like a cameo and stuff. But who's to say that this Wonder Woman who could cameo in this Flash movie is the exact same Wonder Woman from the exact same Earth that is in the main Wonder Woman movies? Right. I mean, at this point, it's like fans are so used to being confused when it comes to continuity with DC, just like they were with all the X-Men films with Fox. The only ones who have been able to crack this code has been Marvel Studios. I don't think anybody else is anywhere near it at this point, unless you're looking at the TV side of things. So, yeah, it's like I said, I don't want to sound like entirely negative because I am hopeful. I am looking forward to this Flash movie. But I got my butt cheeks clenched a little bit. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm sweating a little bit on it.
But see, it's just like when they were doing Man of Steel, right? I think Jeff got mad at some of the writers that were there at WB with WB suits. Were saying that, oh yeah, well, at the end of the movie, he should be able to go home and visit his family on Krypton. And it was like, are you sick? Have you read Superman comic book? The planet is gone. That's why he came here. But it's like those kind of people are in charge of DCEU. They didn't even read comic books. None of them don't even know anything about the stories that they're getting. And it's like it just, oh man, it kills me that these people are in charge of such, I don't know, beloved properties, man. And I'm fearful for this Flash movie. I really am, because for them to change it from Flashpoint back to Flash in the middle of production, and then no Gal Gadot, no Momoa, and I hope it's good, dude. I hope it can fix stuff that screwed up.
Yeah. My highest hopes when it comes to DC right now, when it's not the comics themselves, it's actually the video games. With what we've got coming, Suicide Squad video game and Gotham Knights and stuff like that. Like, I have got more hope for those than I do the individual films right now. I hope to be proven wrong. Not that the games suck. I want them to be really good. I love the Arkham series. I'm definitely hopeful that, all the games are going to be good. But the video games have given us more reason to be hopeful, than the films have.
Well, the story that Ben Affleck had for his Batman that he gave to HBO was Arkham Knight, dude. It was Arkham Knight. I don't understand.
There were reasons why, you know, with his kind of addiction and stuff like that, there were reasons why that fell apart and didn't end up happening. But they still could have gone forward with something in that kind of Arkham kind of vein, because that story was great. And it's like, look, all right, you're not gonna, if Ben Affleck is not gonna do it, although it looks like he's coming back for, you know, for Flash at least for a little bit, but Joe Manganiello was gonna be
the perfect Deathstroke
casting for
Deathstroke,
and to just let that fall to the wayside.
Especially because it wasn't just a casting; like he was in Justice League.
Yeah, like come on.
And he's a hardcore fan too.
He loves the comics.
He was gonna like give it his all in that film. To just say, okay, well, fuck it, we're not gonna use him now. It just like that just baffles me, you know. And it's crazy because DC continues to bring in these big stars. I mean, The Rock is literally the highest paid film actor on the planet.
Right.
That Black Adam movie, I'm actually very excited about.
It has to be good. It has to be good.
Right? And you know that there's going to be a crossover there with Shazam. But it's like you look at the A-list talent, The Rock and Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck and, you know, and Margot Robbie, and you know, and now Idris Elba in the mix, and you know, Will Smith is Deadshot. Whether you love or hate the original Suicide Squad movie,
I actually liked it.
They had star power, and they just didn't have the story, and it wasn't executed. And obviously, we're never going to see the Ayer cut, and maybe that was going to be significantly better. I think it would have definitely been better. How much I don't know, but that's just the point. Is like. They have all the ingredients,
but they don't
somebody who knows how to cook the fucking meat.
They have the ingredients, but zero execution.
They do not use it, bro.
That's been the biggest problem. Is the simple fact that they have all the tools. They have basically the play box. They have the toy box. They have, you know what? They have all the pieces to create the perfect Lego creation. But they always basically get it wrong. But the thing is, somebody said in here earlier, I actually, you know what? And this is why I got this up here right now, the Batman. I actually trust Matt Reeves.
I do too.
I actually 100% trust Matt Reeves. I trust that Matt Reeves is going to give us a great rendition, a decent rendition of this film. You know, from what I've heard, just some of the rumors, there's certain things that have been done. I have hopes that Matt Reeves, you know, can pretty much give us, you know, a really, really good Batman film. We've heard that now they're actually doing a spinoff to their Penguin. So there's going to be a spinoff, which I don't know how that's going to be portrayed.
There's
but
two spinoffs.
Yeah,
they're doing the Gotham PD one, which is
Gotham
actually
PD,
supposed to be
exactly
before this Batman movie takes place. It's actually like a prequel to the movie. My biggest fear, and I'm not. This is just based on previous DC movies. This has nothing to do with Matt Reeves. My biggest fear is that they're going to waste Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon in this movie. I don't want it to just be he's in a couple of scenes and he's just playing the role, but he's not like. And I think even though I think the Snyder cut was significantly better than the theatrical, I still think I almost called him J. Jonah Jameson. I still think that that what's his name as Jim Gordon was underutilized in that movie.
He was a good
I think Jim Gordon is such a rich character that Warner Brothers is like, he's not Batman, so screw it, you know, whatever. And he doesn't get enough shine. And that bothers me. I think he should be more central, and that relationship between him and Batman, and then him and Barbara as she, you know, kind of starts slipping into that life, and does he know, does he not know? There's a lot that can be done there, and so I'm very hopeful for this movie, but that's my biggest fear, is that Jeffrey Wright, who's an amazing actor, and everything that man has done, he's captivating in Westworld and everything else that he acts in. For him to not be used to the fullest in this movie, that does scare me a little bit.
But see, it's just I'm still afraid of this film, man. I trust him as a director, I really do, but I'm just afraid it's not going to give me
It
what
looks
I'm.
violent. It looks
Yeah,
like this is
yeah,
gonna be like a
yeah.
Batman who, like, because when you think about it, it's gonna be. I feel like it's not obviously he's not as big and brooding as like the
It's
Arkham and as
Ben.
like Ben
Yeah,
Affleck.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Ben to me visually
He
was the
killed it,
perfect
bro.
Batman, and
He
I grew
killed
up
it.
with Keaton and I love it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
to me Ben was the visually he's what I see in my head when I think of, or when you're looking at the comics and you
Right.
see that imposing Batman where he
Yes.
can go up against Bane,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's what I see, and I agree with you that he was the perfect balance, and
Yeah. Yeah.
with Batman and
And
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce.
I think he
Mm-hmm.
did that duality very very well,
Mm-hmm.
and would
Mm-hmm.
have done it so much better if he had gotten more of an opportunity. But this one does look like violent. Like those clips that we saw, that trailer, it looks like dude is throwing down.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like a brutal, like in your face. This is not a Joel Schumacher
Mm-hmm.
kind of Batman. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no nipples. There's no we're not gonna get a glory shot of
Thank
the
God,
butt
man.
cheeks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I think that this one. I think a lot of people just have that
The angst of
well
that
the
film.
Twilight
Mm-hmm.
like fear because of those movies and
That's what I'm
stuff.
so scared of,
And
man.
the thing is, Robert Pattinson has said he's like, look, because people would ask him, "Are you team this or that?" And you love. What do you think about these characters? He's like, I don't fucking care. I don't read
Mm-hmm.
those books. I got paid.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you're in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood and you don't know how long your ride's going to be, you don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be over tomorrow. They're
Yeah.
offering you millions of dollars to play a sparkling vampire and you have no other credits to your name. You take the job playing a
Yeah.
sparkling goddamn vampire.
Yeah,
And you
yeah, yeah.
make the money now so that you look at some of the roles that Ben Affleck did, back in
Mm-hmm.
the day, all right? Were really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that. Like the casting on this, like I'm totally fine. If they think nobody thought Heath Ledger was going to be a good job, people even question Christian Bale as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, remember, Michael Keaton was Mr. Mom before he was
Right
Batman.
before
Okay,
Batman. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Bomb and Phantoms, yo.
Yep.
yeah,
Phantoms. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
see, nice Kevin Smith reference there.
Whoa, yeah.
Seamus makes a really good point. It is year 2 Batman. He's full of anger,
Yeah,
so I'm
exactly.
so happy
Mhm.
to basically
Pissed
see that.
off.
Mhm.
I think you
Mhm.
know what,
He's
and
out
if
to hurt some people.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
hoping,
yeah.
I'm really hoping, I have faith, and I do, like, despite others, I do have faith that Pattinson can actually pull this off.
I do too. He was
You
good in
know,
I'm
Tenet. He
hoping,
was
dude.
real good in Tenet.
I'm hoping, bro.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
I have.
I, I'm looking at it as when the Nolan movies came out and the DC movies came out, the thing that I've always been longing for since 1989 is Batman to be a detective again. And
Yes.
everything you hear about this film that is good,
Absolutely.
has me uplifted, is that this is finally a director who wants to focus on the fact that he's the world's greatest detective, not someone just going around punching people all
And
day.
we've never gotten that.
Batman, and everyone hails Nolan's Batman, and I love those movies. But
Bill was close to it, though.
and
He was close to
Batman
it.
to me, those
Mhm.
are great crime movies with they're amazing crime movies with a superhero, facade over it, and it's amazing what he did to bring Batman back to the general public and everything like that. But
Mhm.
he's just so much smarter and more strategic in the comics and in the animated and in every other medium except for the films. He utilizes first and foremost his strategy and intelligence. There's a reason why he belongs along these gods in Justice League, is because
Mhm.
he tells Superman where to punch. That's his job.
And he's also the guy coming up with a
What to do,
strategy to beat
where to
every
hit.
single one of the Justice
Yeah,
League if he
he's
needs
a
to.
he's a tacticianist.
He's
He's a master tacticianist.
He's the one figuring out all the moves. He's the one getting to checkmate while everyone else is setting up the board. And that is what Batman is supposed to be about. And we've seen like almost 30 plus years of Batman just punching and kicking his way through every problem. And this film, if it turns out where it's going to be him finally being a detective again, then I'll have to take the hit on it being Pattinson and not being the physically imposing Batman that I want to see mixed with that intelligence, because you're supposed to have this world's smartest detective man, but also this physically imposing monster who's this peak athlete, peak human, who able to do things that almost a superhuman ability meta would be able to do, but also be smarter than you too. And there's a reason why he's elevated to such a high standing and amongst the characters.
And let's not forget too that when it comes to the physicality,
Pattinson isn't taking the physical aspect of the role as serious and doesn't care about the working out part and doesn't feel like he needs it to be a physically imposing.
That's what bothered me though, man.
In addition to a cerebral role, because Batman is a mesh of the two. As top tier mind, top tier body is Batman. So it's a little frustrating that he's completely focused on the acting part of it and getting because obviously that's important.
I mean,
I'm not trying to hold Twilight and everything against him. To me, what I'm against him is his indifference in the physicality that Batman is supposed to.
I've never seen a skinny Batman in any book.
If Batman is if Bruce Wayne, without the costume, is walking towards you in a dark alley, you're supposed to want to walk the other way. You're not supposed to feel like
I could be him.
Not supposed to feel like Commissioner Gordon is a bigger, stronger looking dude.
Right.
Batman.
Let's not forget though that Michael Keaton is barely bigger than Tom Holland.
But that was
like the Joker was actually bigger than Batman in '89.
But see, in the Keaton movie, they never showed him training or working out like that.
Right, that was a long time ago, and you didn't then show us a stronger, bigger Batman, and then go back. You know what I mean? That was first. It's kind of
but there are still people who say that Keaton is the ultimate Batman.
But Christopher Reeves also wasn't a huge, big dude like Cavill, and now
but he worked out. Yes, he was.
He worked out, and he took it serious, right? But then
watch the documentary. If you go back,
wow, he wasn't ripped as Cavill.
Hold on. One at a time. What's up? What you say, Vinny?
Now Superman looks like he does in the comics. So if they had the next Superman as someone Christopher Reeve size, it would feel like a step backwards physically.
Reeves was jacked, dude. This has been talked about a lot. He was jacked, but the material of the suit that they used showed no definition whatsoever. It flattened all the muscle.
Bro,
there's a lot. There have been documentaries and a lot of stuff talked about where it's like they made him look so much less imposing than he really was. Christopher Reeves was a jacked
huge
dude,
bro.
And you would if you saw how jacked he really got
in training. Yeah,
that that was the suit.
That's the suit designer.
Which then it went in reverse. It went the other direction after that. Yeah. But I mean, to this day, there are people who from my generation who grew up who still say that Keaton is their Batman, and I love Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, me too.
But even Sylvester Stallone said it back in the day. He's like, when we're putting the muscles in the suits for action heroes, then what's happening now? And again, I'm not I like Keaton as Batman, but I'm saying anybody who likes Keaton as Batman, I don't think you have a valid argument then against Pattinson not being big and jacked or putting as much into the physicality of the role because Keaton didn't train at all.
No, he didn't.
For that Batman.
The suit is hiding this boy's body,
and we can't say they're different eras if we're then using one as a standard, though. That's my issue there.
No, this boy was 6'4".
I feel like
he was jacked. He's actually taller than Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he's 6'4", bro.
I feel like 30 years later they can figure out a way to mesh the two. It was the first go round as Batman, and they've decided to focus on more of getting in a good actor in there. How many actors at that time were had a physical stature that was at all imposing.
That could match a hero from the comics.
Nowadays,
Lou Ferrigno.
But you got to remember that
there are actors who are more physically imposing who are also a good actor. It's kind of like back in the day, there was almost no choices for Kingpin because they were looking for wrestlers because they wanted to find someone big. But now we have someone like Vincent D'Onofrio who's not quite as big as a Michael Clark.
But he's perfect.
But he's a great actor. So I feel like 30 years
John Candy, man. John Candy.
30 years later, I felt like there was people that
Caddyshack.
Great actor could impose that cerebral mentality that Batman needs to have and be a little bit more physically imposing. No, they didn't need to be in quite in bat-like shape, but
But at the same time, if you look back at '89, the cinematography made Keaton look the right size, so they can still make him look. I mean,
they make him look
movie
menacing,
that Tom
bro.
Cruise he doesn't look like he's like 5'6". Stallone is like 5'9" or something.
5'9".
Right? He never looks smaller. What they did is they used cinematography to make it look like Ivan Drago was 7 feet tall.
It seems like right? And a lot of it's stuntable, because a lot of the shots I've seen from stills is a lot of a really big dude with a really big suit. So we're gonna see. I'm sure.
And then they'll shoot it so it makes Robert Pattinson look like him.
Yeah.
So I don't think once this movie comes out, I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about how he looked small.
They probably have a bigger guy, the stunt guy, doing all those action scenes with the bigger suit on or whatever.
So just like people were complaining that Gal Gadot was really thin, and then once she was Wonder Woman, people were okay with it.
So I want to move on to something real quick. I kind of want to move on to this next one, because again, this one right here, like I said, for me, has to be done right. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm skeptical about this man's acting. I always have been. When it comes to this, yeah, you can look the part, you can be just as big and menacing, but we're talking about Black Adam, bro. And there's a lot that goes into his history. There's a lot about this character. There's a lot of, the thing is, to understand Black Adam is to understand his reasoning for doing what he's done. And at the same time, understanding that he's broken. He's broken to the knees, he's like beyond anger, bro. Like he's broken right now. And basically, his thought pattern was for the people, losing his family the way he did, exactly. So in his kingdom and all that, all of that, when you think about the character, and what it means to portray this character, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I like The Rock. I like Dwayne Johnson. Don't get me wrong. But do I think that he's able, physically? Yes, he can do it. Physically, yes, all day, every day. But I hope, and the thing is, don't just think of this like we always say as punches and power, and that a superhero film can't actually have depth. I'm hoping that they do give us a solid story when it comes to Black Adam.
He looks like him a little turtle, man.
Yeah, he does. And the look is there, and I'm not taking it away, but it's the acting. I want to see the quality of acting. I want to see the chops to pull off and make me believe that you can actually do this. Vinny, what do you think, when we're talking about this? Like I said, because I know everyone was excited. When they announced that Rocky Johnson, and when he basically announced it, that he put a lot into it. He actually, even like I said, because him and Henry Cavill are so close, and they actually have the same agent. He was petitioning to actually get Henry Cavill Superman in the film. You know what I mean? Of course. But anyway, Vinny, what do you basically think? Do you think this is something that he can pull off?
All right. So I've always been less of a fan of Rock's films than most people. A lot of people enjoy his stuff. I've always felt like, okay, you've seen one Rock movie, you've seen them all, and I haven't been the biggest fan of his. When they announced him for the role of Black Adam, I was definitely had my interest peaked because of so many different times we see these fan castings and they put wrestlers in the role because of the comic book character being so physically imposing. There's few people who look like these people except for wrestlers who are already actors, and sometimes it's just a good fit. The Rock, his name has been thrown around for virtually every fan cast film for years, and there's been so many movies that are just so many roles that they've been throwing his name around for that just didn't make sense. There were some that were close, like Namor, and then when they said Black Adam, I was like, yeah, that looks like Black Adam. But then to me, it's like the last thing I ever want to hear from Black Adam is, Rudy Poo and Jabroni and all this kind of nonsense that's kind of goes hand in hand with the Rock films. I mean, a lot of them are virtually, similar characters across the board. However, there's one film that has me very hopeful for this. And if he could tap into what he did in this one particular film, then I feel like we'd be in for a treat. And that is Faster. Faster is my favorite.
Oh,
Rocky
Faster was awesome.
Yep.
There was I would love for him to do more of those type of films, like break up the Jumanjis once every 5 years and give us another damn movie like Faster to like keep your range fresh, because that film was so. I mean, this is a huge dude. He doesn't always have to play the lovable, funny big guy teddy bear. Like he can sometimes he can be a monster and just be, you know, a scary dude. That is what he, you know, is like built for, and so funny and charming, and that's all great. But Black Adam is not your friend. So I want to see him be able to tap into a darker version of himself for this film, and the darkest film by far was Faster. And if he's able to do a more serious take on it, and now don't get me wrong, obviously there's going to be, you know, humor in it, but I want to see a darker film. Black Adam is not a joke. He is one of the most
no joke,
threats,
the most menacing. I mean,
comics. There's so many more well-known and, you know, more popular names in DC Comics, but when Black Adam's around, you have no idea if you're going to make it. Like he is one of the biggest wild cards, and he's one of the most underrated villains. For years, true DC fans have been like, why is Black Adam always just simply wasted on Captain Marvel and Shazam? And Shazam hasn't had very many successful books, so it's kind of like he's handcuffed to Shazam. Shazam doesn't have very many successful titles, and they rarely use him in Justice League or other books or as other villains. You know, Destro gets to be in every title everywhere as a villain, popping up everywhere, and Black Adam is just as has just as much potential for a crossover big, continuity run for, you know, imposing threat. So I want to see The Rock tap into a more, you know, cold, you know, villainous role for this, and not try to play it up as hammy or funny, and just you know, tap into what he did for Faster and like let loose, because I feel like this has the potential to be something really special, and I love that this was like announced way before they even did Shazam. So it's really bizarre that we're like just now coming up on Black Adam. And I also want to see Black Adam stay separate from Shazam for at least a couple more Shazam movies, because I want to see a Black Adam that the Shazam that we've seen in the last movie and probably will in this movie doesn't have a chance in hell against yet.
That's not going to happen. They're going to cross over immediately. Warner Brothers does not have the patience and the temperament to wait. They're gonna throw them together right away. I guarantee you.
I feel like it's a huge mistake. I feel like
Cena was almost Shazam.
Wrong. I'm just saying that Warner Brothers has no impulse control. They're throwing them together right away. Yep. Right away, now, I guarantee it.
Now with this Black Adam thing, right, with Dwayne, I was on season 2 of Ballers, bro. So I got to see him. That's the role that
has me hopeful for this.
Right,
seeing him in Ballers, I think that is a big thing showing that he can do this.
Right. So I was on season 2 of Ballers, right? So I got to see him on set. That boy he works, bro. When he has a role that he loves, from seeing him on the set, bro, like Dwayne, he puts his heart and soul into like a lot of when I was there. You know what I'm saying? I see him, the way he acts, bro. Like he puts it in, bro. If he messes up, that boy will go back and keep acting to fix it until it's right. So that's why me personally, after seeing him on the set, I can really say that I really have a lot of faith in him as Black Adam. I think he'll find that piece from Faster, or he'll find that darkness that he needs for this role. I really, really think that he can pull it off as Black Adam, man. Not just with his physical presence, but his acting chops. When he wants to be good at something, this dude will do it, bro.
Yeah,
I've seen it, bro.
I hope. I mean, and it's not taken away from the thing is, it's like what they need to do, and this is why I say this, and then I'm gonna pass this to Brendan. The reason why I say this is I don't want to see another Hobbs and Shaw. I don't want to see another Fast and Furious. I don't want to see another, you know what I mean? I don't want to see another Jumanji. You know what I mean? I don't want to see, I want to see a totally different rendition, interpretation, especially of this particular character. I don't even want to see Dwayne Johnson. I don't want to see The Rock. I
No.
want to see Black Adam. And this is what my expectations are with this film, because like I said, growing up with Black Adam and the depth that this character is malicious. I don't give a F what nobody says. Like right now, they want to they kind of pander around this anti-hero. Hell no, he still isn't.
Nah, he
still isn't. He's just like straight up. It's like, yo, he's the Jake the Snake of comics, bro. Like straight up. That's just the way I see it. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. Brendan, what's your you still didn't change your name to Obi-Wan Riley. But what's your take on this, bro?
I'm really looking forward to it. I think he's gonna do well. I think he recognizes what this is, this property, this IP, being able to step into this role at a time where Warner Brothers and DC need a win. He steps in to a role like this that a lot of the people who aren't hardcore comic readers don't really understand yet, and he makes this thing work and he wows people, then it takes him, who's already at the top of the mountain in Hollywood, to a whole nother level. I think he recognizes that from an artist and from a businessman perspective, and I think he's gonna go balls to the wall on this one. He genuinely you hear him talk about the character. He genuinely loves the character, and he had been talking about wanting to be Black Adam and do this movie for years before they made it official. So he's had a long time with this character to get it, and like I said, I agree with what Vinny said about Faster, and then Ballers. I think there are some real moments in that show where you see his character and not Dwayne Johnson, right?
Yeah.
They're just like in Faster, same thing. In Ballers, there are times where it's like that it's the actor. This is not, I guarantee it, whether this is a massive success or not, it will not be the Scorpion King, okay?
Right.
Back in the beginning of his career, the first role, and he was, it was, The Rock is playing some guy with a ponytail and a sword, and and it was very much The Rock. They did the fucking eyebrow and everything. And,
yeah.
This is not going to be that. Whether or not it's great, I don't know. I hope it is. It's not going to be a caricature of people of The Rock's wrestling persona or of other characters that he has portrayed. This is, I think, he's going to put his all into this, and hopefully it turns out well for us. I have more faith in. I have honestly more faith in the Black Adam movie, I think, than any other film in development right now for Warner Brothers and DC. Maybe neck and neck with Matt Reeves' Batman movie. But yeah, I think there's more potential here to do it right than, this doesn't scare me like the Flash movie does. And I'm hopeful for the Flash movie. I
agree.
But this doesn't scare me like that.
I agree.
And that's so I don't have concerns about it being The Rock. It's gonna be Black Adam. For better or worse, that's what we're gonna get. We'll see what the filmmaker and The Rock and their interpretation of the character is. I'm not saying it's going to be gold. I mean, it could end up being horrible, but I don't think it's going to be horrible. I think it's going to be pretty good, and I think it represents one of, if not the biggest path forward for this iteration of DC films. Because if this hits, we already know that The Rock is a massive box office draw. You imagine if this hits, and then we start seeing him go up against other other characters like Superman and whatnot, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest failing I think for DC films, is that DC, I mean, especially Batman, but DC in general has just an amazing bench of villains. Their depth is just ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
and they have failed to use it.
They don't use them.
They have absolutely failed. As much as I like the Wonder Woman, for the first Wonder Woman movie, the
Mm-hmm.
weakest part was Ares.
Yeah.
I thought the CG, once you actually saw him in the fight at the end, was really weak, but for the whole movie, it was just you didn't see him at all, and then it ended up being some hobbled British guy that was not imposing at all, and
No.
that was weak. You know, just overall, I mean, you've had Heath Ledger, but beyond that, it's like I like Tom Hardy and I like The Dark Knight Rises, but I also want
That
to
Bane
see
wasn't the real
the
Bane.
actual venom infused Bane.
Yeah.
Out
Yeah.
there. I want to can you imagine them getting a massive guy, or like somebody even like the size of The Rock or something,
Or John Cena or
or
something.
go bigger than that
Mhm.
against a Ben Affleck as Batman.
Mhm.
There's a lot of potential, and villains oftentimes make the movie, and I think that's one of the biggest shortcomings that the DCEU has had.
You saw
Other
it
than
again.
continuity.
2 times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that this one will be good. I think they have to have the rest of the cast that can stand up to The Rock. I'm not talking about acting ability. I'm talking about just on-screen presence and understanding of how to play the characters to go up against his Black Adam. That's I think a more of a question mark to me than whether or not The Rock will actually bring it into this role.
Okay.
Do you think he could save Superman?
You mean
Cavill
save
Superman?
what? Like save Cavill as Superman?
No, I don't think so.
He's been wanting
Well,
it, man.
here's the thing. I mean, I honestly think fans, if we were told we're getting Cavill back in everybody would be happy. It's not that he has to redeem Cavill as Superman. It's that Warner Brothers has to wake up and realize that, hey, you don't need to cast somebody else as Superman, or just let the character like fall off into nothing and focus on other stuff. Like, you've got a great in his prime who can play this role, who wants to play this role and wants to do it well. And the fans have not turned on Henry Cavill. Nobody has said they don't like, or not everybody has said that they don't like him as Superman. It's been he hasn't gotten a chance to really shine in this role. The same way they hated Ben Affleck at first when he was cast, and then realized, oh shit, he's awesome as Batman.
He's awesome. Yeah,
I want him in his own movie now to do that.
Our situation, the fans love Cavill. Cavill is, from everything I've heard, a dream to work with on set. It's almost like it's a phantom problem that WB has created for themselves when there's so many other literal problems.
It's because Zack Snyder brought him in. That's the problem.
Because he's attached to Zack. That's
Because
one of the biggest things.
That's the only problem.
That's one of the biggest drawbacks.
Yeah, but you know what? Zack Snyder brought in Gal Gadot. He was one of the final. He was one of the people who had the final say in her casting, because she was being introduced into the what he was setting up. So the same thing with Jason Momoa is like and Ezra
Ray
Miller
Fisher,
as the Flash.
Ezra Miller, yeah.
Like. Well, Ray Fisher's another story. They're sour on him for a different stupid reason, and that's really messed up. But the rest of them, Zack Snyder had a hand in bringing all of those people into
to WB
DC.
Though. The only reason that type of thing should be an issue is if the cast were as loyal to Snyder more so than WB and weren't willing to go forward. Kind of like when Raimi wanted out of the Spider-Man movies, and Toby and Kirsten was like, "Well, if Raimi's not here, we're out of here too," and then everything falls apart. But from what I understand, all the Justice League cast are, they're more than willing to keep making these movies, and it's WB saying, "Oh, we want to like kind of sever this. Oh, but keep Gal. Oh, keep Jason. You can't just kind of like pick and choose.
No.
Fact,
And all of them were tight, bro.
Like,
all of them were tight too, bro.
It
That
doesn't make sense. It's.
I almost think that the Warner Brothers execs are kind of just being like, well, we're just going to go in separate directions and do this and that, because I almost feel like they don't want another Justice League movie, because they don't want all of that star power in one film that can then start banding together and making demands of Warner Brothers and say, hey, look, we're not going to do this unless you do it right, and actually start. Like almost not like a union, but I think they realize that, like, man, if they all kind of like come together and then they all go out publicly or something, that like that can really screw us. I think they want to just try and keep these individual movies, keep them kind of separate. You have like a little crossover here
That's
and
why
there.
AWB, bro.
It's executives trying to pretend like they're creatives, and you need executives.
You know what?
I'm not saying you don't, but you got to stay in your lane and hire people that know what they're doing. It's like Kevin Feige. He has a larger vision, but then he lets people come in. He lets a James Gunn come in and make a Guardians of the Galaxy, which is completely different than the Russo brothers coming in and making Winter Soldier. Is completely different than what's his name making Ant-Man, and like you know, so it's like one guiding hand, but you're letting these artists make their art, and Warner Brothers does not have that mentality. And as a result, they're squandering.
It's a level with them. With them, they're basically just playing it safe. That's what they do. They play it safe, but it's according to again
playing
Walter
it safe
Hamada.
For them involves them shooting themselves in the foot.
I know, and that's stupid. That, Brent. I was just about to say that.
It's not safe at all.
It's shooting them in their own foot.
That's
in their own foot.
So on a lighter note, though, I want to kind of jump into something, because this basically, I saw this today, and you know, I can't avoid not talking about this piece, man. This right here. Yo, this Kyle Rayner.
Oh, that Kyle Rayner.
By XM. Yo, I saw this. I got the notification from them today.
XM is just...
XM is killing it, bro. This Kyle Rayner is incredible. You didn't see this today, bro?
Hell no. What's that?
Kyle's my favorite Green Lantern, so that's what's up.
Bro, he is. And
I like him, Guy, and Stewart.
I'm going to go through some of these pictures. Hold on.
I think it's beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I'm going to go through some of these pictures, man, because...
Yeah, I want to see that one from another angle.
I saw this today, and I was like, yo, I have to bring this in on the discussion, because this piece is simply amazing, bro. Like, look at this, bro.
Ooh, what the hell?
Look at that base.
That thing is gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome.
The paint work on that base.
Oh, is that an anime Gundam that he made down there? Because he's a comic artist anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a Gundam down there, or Optimus Prime or something.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Like, look at the detail on
that. That battle cry.
That's it,
bro. That piece is incredible. Like
that is huge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a decent piece. It's a decent sized piece, bro. It's a monster now.
That is nice.
And this is definitely coming soon. Like, they basically have it, you know, pretty. Look at that. Look how big that base is, bro.
Crazy.
Is it up for pre-order, or is it?
It's gonna be up for pre-order sometime this week.
And any lights on that or no?
Prices though.
Huh?
Any lights on that thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I just think it's the paint app that, you know, kind of gives it, you know, it's kind of vibrant.
Yeah.
But yeah, this piece, bro, is sick. Like,
what? Is that Supergirl one too?
Yeah. I don't know. Now, I don't know when this one's gonna. I think they already released this one. I'm not really sure. But yeah, like XM, bro, they come with it. Yeah. Look at that paint, bro. Like,
I've been so scared to go down the statue rabbit hole, bro.
So many 6-scale collectors are getting into statues now because these statue companies are just bringing heat. They're just
fire right there, yeah.
And in a time where you're getting so many pre-orders for Hot Toys, but so few actual releases, and these statues, you're getting a lot of pre-orders, but they're hitting their release windows, or they're coming close to them, you know, and you're not waiting 18 months to 2 years. A lot of people are start getting more into statues, and this is why. I mean, even just look at the matte black.
That Kyle Rayner
legs right there on those parts of the suit.
Wow,
that's just like, that's quality paint work too. It's not just it it's matte black, but it feels like textured, and it doesn't feel like it's just flat and dull.
Yeah. It's
Scroll up
decent.
some more. That's sick, bro.
You want to see some more?
Yeah, that's like a Gundam he's sitting on.
Bro, like look at this, just how they've
Yo.
captured the essence of Kyle Rayner
Wow.
in this piece. Now, and it just lets me know that these artists and these individuals who create these
They
pieces,
read the comics,
they
bro.
study. They
Mhm.
really study. And Kyle Rayner is a beast, bro.
Hey,
He is a
Look
beast.
at his ring. You see the power coming out of the ring. That's awesome, man.
What'd you say, Benny?
The decision to make a Green Lantern a comic book artist is one of the greatest
Mm-hmm.
ideas in comics history, because when I was reading Green Lantern and they first announced that, what Kyle's background was as a comic book fan, and at that age really wanted to be a comic book artist, and to me, the second I heard it, it was like, why hasn't that already been a thing? Because it makes so much sense, because you have someone whose literal power is imagination.
Mm-hmm.
As a comic book artist, it just is like goes hand in hand. It's so
Yeah.
it's such a home run. It's so like brilliant of an idea. It's just so logical. Kyle has always been one of my favorites for that reason. Like when they
Yeah.
first started showing his constructs in the comics, and you'd see like an army of dinosaurs and shit, and
Yeah.
bots, and like just kind of like just phenomenal
Yeah.
different things versus the missile or the punch or the
The
bullets,
boxing glove, like
over and
Green Arrow.
to see something different.
Yeah,
And so like that's truly amazing.
that's sick. That's a dope piece.
I even
Now-
like the Ion storyline. That I felt
Yeah.
incredible
Yeah.
too.
Oh, with them, he's a White Lantern.
When he took the power from all the different rings, and he was literally everywhere like a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dope story. Yeah.
So speaking of which, this is taking me to my next subject, because I don't know if anybody out there, if you don't basically follow Max Effort Collector and Raleigh on Instagram, you're missing out on some beautiful pieces. If you don't basically follow him on Facebook, if you're not in some of the groups, if you're in Justin's group, if you're in Ryan's group, basically you would see some of his brilliant pieces. So I asked him to actually put together just a few things, because his setup. Just take us through the art of perfect photography for figures, his way of actually doing it. Brendan, I'm gonna bring this up and you just kind of walk us through it, okay, bro?
Yeah.
So this right here
That is sick.
is phenomenal. It's just like Jack Nicholson jumping completely out of the
Wow.
camera.
This
Like,
is an
so
old
impressed.
sculpt too. Like this is like Hot Toys was doing some amazing work back in the day.
Mhm.
They had some misses, but like, so I'm gonna keep this brief because there's no Olive Garden nonsense and whatnot. So we're not, I'll leave that for Will. And used mostly, DC. There was like I think one non-DC character toward the end, but like, it's DC Day, so. If you haven't gotten this figure, by the way, this figure is absolutely gorgeous. It was a must-have. It was definitely, I know we use the term Grail a lot.
Yeah, this is definitely a Grail
these days, but this was a Grail for me. And I hunted this down a couple of years ago on eBay, and I absolutely love it. So I'll give you just a couple quick kind of like guiding principles that I use when it comes to getting shots for figures. And mind you, these are not actual photographs. These are still frames pulled from 4K footage, video footage that I've shot. Because I'm a cinematographer, I run my own video business. So, I know tons of people who do both, and me personally, because I love filming, I love doing videos so much, I always default to that. I'm never one of the guys who's like, I'm gonna take some, I'm gonna do photo, today. It's like, no, I always want to film video because I know I can pull stills from it later, because if I look back and be like, man, I wish I had video so I could edit something together really cool of that. But I don't have it because I was taking photos. So everything that I post on Instagram and in the groups for the most part is actually video footage that I extract still frames from. So with this particular character, because he's so vibrant white, uh, you know, and in most cases, what I try and do is not have a light source that's going dead on flat straight at them. Okay, I try and light from the side, or actually light off to the side and to the back of the figure, or if it's a person that I'm filming, same thing, and let the light kind of wrap around them, and I'll have one side that's more shadow and then the other one that's light. So you can see on his shoulder too, the right shoulder is separated from the background more by being lit up more, and the other one kind of fades into the darkness.
Yeah.
But I don't want his face to be all just completely stark white. I want there to be character and depth to it. So that's why I'm lighting from the side and then letting it wrap around his face, but the left side of his face, or the right if you're looking at your screen, is more in shadow. It gives depth to the figure, and it just makes it look better. It makes it come to life more, especially with an amazing portrait like this. But when you're doing photos or videos of your collection, think about where the light is in relation to your subject. You don't want to, if you just light from the front and it's pointing straight at it, and that means the entire figure and the whole face is going to be lit evenly, and then it's not going to have that depth. It's going to feel very flat. And so with this, I want it to come more to life. I want to have that play of light and shadow. And so that's why, that's why I'll usually light from one side. As far as people have been asking about the depth of field, it's as simple as when you're filming or when you're shooting a photograph. For these, I had my aperture wide open, but not too much actually. So this was only, I think, at about a 2.8 f-stop, but I actually used what's called a diopter, which is basically just a little it looks like kind of a filter. Like you screw on this attachment to the end of your lens, and it reduces the focal distance required, the minimum focal distance, basically how close you can get the lens to your subject before you start losing focus. So then you're able to get these tighter kind of macro shots. So you can get those kind of diopters anywhere from like $15 on Amazon to like $500, $600, $700 at like a top place like a B&H or an Adorama. But this is just a really good character to play with because his face is so bright. So you actually tone down the lighting a little bit more than you would with another character, because that white, stark white of the face will be so bright and will actually bounce back a little light toward you.
Wow.
But it really does kind of, I just love the paintwork on this too. I love that they made his teeth darker.
Yeah.
It's very accurate to the film. And when, it just, you get that play of light and shadow, like I've said a bunch of times. I absolutely love it. So, and then when you're going to a character that is darker, not tone wise, but I mean, visually. So this one, I actually bumped up the light because black will absorb light. So then you're not going to have as much of it. So I overexposed a little bit on this so I can get that edge there. And again, I wanted the character, I wanted to have one side lit and then the other one kind of in shadow, which is very Bruce Wayne and Batman to begin with. But again, the light, so that way you can just barely see a little bit in the eye there, on the left eye, but you see more of the right. It just adds more mystery and more depth to it. And if you just light these things from the front, they look very flat, but when you light them from the side and you let it wrap around, you're seeing more texture to the actual face there. Those lips and the jaw, it looks real. It doesn't look like it's like it's plastic or anything like that, because the way the light is wrapping around it. And that also allows you to make out the ridges there on the brow, and then going down along the nose. This is also a great figure. I absolutely love it. I still have to get a custom cape for it because the cape that comes with it sucks. It doesn't pose very well. But all in all, it's a really good figure. The other thing that I like about, I shoot these in front of my collection. That's actually Spider-Man 2099 and the video game Iron Spider behind him there. But with those going out of focus in the background, it adds a little bit of color to the background for your figures when you're shooting them without actually knowing what it is. So it just adds a little bit more color contrast and makes it look cool, even though you don't necessarily. I mean, I just told you, so you know what those figures are right now. But otherwise, it just gives it a little bit of like character and a little bit of pop. When you're going with a more colorful character, and one that where you're gonna, with blues and reds, you want to make sure that your white balance is really on point, because otherwise those are going to start to wash out or not look accurate. But this is the same thing. I light it from the side because I want to have that fall off across his body, so you can kind of see the brighter elements of the suit there, but then let them kind of fall into shadow. I love the way the red pops with the light right on it on the cape on that side, and right here again, just love that kind of. He's got a very stern expression for Superman. It's not like this happy-go-lucky kind of shot. So I wanted to have that fall off into shadow going onto the other side. And again, I mean, I'm also a huge fan of this sculpt. I think that Hot Toys really nailed it, almost as much. And I don't have shots right now of the unmasked Batfleck, but I absolutely love the sculpt they did of him. And this, is my favorite Batman 6 scale in my collection, just because I think Ben Affleck just looked the part so well. And then same thing, you bump up the light a little bit more because it's a very dark figure. Now, when you're looking at the suit and this character in comparison to the Superman one is going to be more vibrant, obviously, and so you're going to see that logo really well. I didn't actually want to light him to the point where you really make out the logo on the suit there, because often we see Batman in the shadows, and what he is lit by is usually like a street lamp or something like that. So I wanted to have that just kind of edge light, but then have this very, very dark and fall into just kind of blackness there, just because it works for the character, and so I like that look for him. It's one of those things too where for most people it's not necessarily that flattering when you shoot at an up angle, but for heroes, that's why they call it the hero shot. It just makes them look bigger, it makes them look more imposing. It's much more comic book like. So I like to when it comes to angles, especially even if you're not doing a very dynamic pose, just like a simple kind of hero pose like that, museum pose, works when you're shooting upward rather than just shooting straight on. So just play with kind of going low and shooting up higher, and I think you'll be surprised at the kind of results that you get for those. Then I just have a couple, these are Marvel obviously, but I just like, again, the way the light really hits and just edges the tongue there, so you can really kind of get some play with that and the vibrancy there. Just edging Venom, especially because he's an all black figure with then just the tongue and the eyes and then the kind of veins for the light. You want to hit him with a lot of light, but backlight, and then you just kind of let the light wrap around. Or if you light from behind, but then you take like, you can use a whiteboard if you don't have any type of reflector. You can even hold up a white t-shirt just kind of close in front of him and bounce some of that backlight back into the figure itself, into the front of it, so that you can fill in some of those details, and then you're able to get those really nice tight. I love the paintwork on the teeth in this. It's just absolutely amazing what they did there. So it also brings the kind of like frosted or like foggy eyes there really to life if you light them the right way. And then the last one here, again, it's another Marvel one. So I'm ending with 2 Marvel ones on a DC day, but this is the Black Suit Daredevil from So Toys. And same thing with this one in that it's 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 an all black figure with just like 2 kind of pops of non-black. You've got the white right there at the bottom of the mask, and then you've got the red at the neckline for the shirt. And those 2 with the skin tone actually really kind of help bring this to life. So same thing with most of these characters, like a Daredevil, like a Batman, like a Venom, swinging around the city at night. They're usually lit, back or side light in the comic books themselves with, street lamps or window light from, an alley or something like that. So trying to emulate that where it's not just this, trying to be flattering and straight on shot, but really go, to the side. And then, like I said, that looking up shot, that kind of hero shot. And this is also a testament to the texture with that sculpted black mask for Daredevil that So Toys did, because you can see, what are supposed to be the kind of like creases and folds in the fabric, catching that light and edging them out like that. Same thing with his baton there, catching that light so that, you don't really see the rest of it. You just kind of see the edge there, but then your eye immediately translates that to your brain and you know what you're seeing. So just play with light, try, when in doubt, not like straight backlighting so that you're going to silhouette the figures, but back and to the side so that you're kind of getting the back side of their head, and then let the light wrap around the front side of the figure, and play with kind of low angles looking up, and you'll be surprised what you can do, whether you're shooting with your phone, doing video, doing stills. Play with it. Don't use the shitty camera app built into the iPhone though. Even with the new iPhone coming out, the app always sucks. Use something like First Light, or use Adobe Lightroom, both of which there are free versions, and you can take pictures directly in those apps, and you can build in presets, and you can edit the photos to the way you want. But the built-in iPhone camera app does not take full advantage of the hardware in your phone. That it absolutely sucks from a software perspective. So just use something else, and you'll be surprised what you can pull off. But that's it. Yeah.
Bro, this was like a master's class, bro. I appreciate this.
Appreciate it.
That was awesome,
man. Like again. Everyone, if you haven't already, you follow Brendan on Massive Effort Collector, and also Raleigh on Instagram. So, definitely if you want to see some photos, he'll share them throughout the group and stuff like that. So, pretty much that's why I had him on, some interesting pictures, very some great attention to detail, shadowing, so this is what he does for a living. So, if anytime you want to get some pointers, or you have questions about it, definitely hit him up. And yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it.
Man, that's awesome, bro. Appreciate that.
So before we close out, okay, because we're about to close out, we're running, actually,
that's right, recommendations. I forgot.
Yeah, before we close out, there's before we even get to recommendations, I have a question. We're going to try to keep this as brief as possible. Okay, try to keep this as brief as possible in the interest of time. And I'm gonna ask everybody out in there in the chat as well. And this is gonna be a controversial question for one person, but I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna start with Vinny first, and then we're gonna leave the best for last, Jedi Kid. But this question also goes with everybody out there in the chat. Do you think we will see? Now we already know we're gonna get different renditions of this particular film, but do you think we are going to see another Man of Steel? Vinny, you go first.
Oh, see, here you go.
Nope.
Damn.
You just said nope.
No faith. No faith.
We may see another Superman movie in the future, but Man of Steel 2, I just don't see it happening.
Nope.
it should happen. We all know it should happen, and it's absolutely bizarre. But if it was going to happen, I think with the 400,000 projects that they have thrown against the wall to see what sticks.
Trash projects, man.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna get we'll get a Birds of Prey 2 that no one asked for the first one.
Garbage.
Before we get a Man of Steel 2 that is beloved. They're not interested in what they're not interested in. They're not interested in a Man of Steel 2. That's not even to say that they won't make another Superman movie. I think that they are so full of themselves that if they changed their mind and decided to bring Cavill in to make another Superman movie, they would call it something else just out of spite. But they won't call it Man of Steel 2 because they would want to feel like they caved under pressure, like they feel like they caved under pressure for Justice League, Snyder Cut. No Man of Steel 2, in my opinion.
No
Nope.
Man is still 2?
Not in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna toss this question definitely over to you, Brendan. Man is still 2? Yay or nay?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Like Vinny said, if Henry Cavill plays the role again, it'll be in a cameo in somebody else's movie, or it'll be. Really, I only think it would be that. I don't think they would. I don't think we're ever going to see a Justice League movie again. Not for a long time. And if that were to happen, I think at that point it would be probably a full on reboot of everything. And who knows, depending on if AT&T is able to unload Warner Brothers and DC, and so we'll see. But yeah, they're not going to make a Man of Steel 2. It's not in the cards. I would like it. I really want to see Henry Cavill back in that role and give him his own movie to really shine and sink his teeth into the role. But I don't see it happening. I don't think, honestly, it's stupid, but I don't think Warner Brothers cares enough to do it. And Henry Cavill, man, he's got The Witcher going. He's, people loved him in Mission Impossible, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot more roles similar to that are coming down the pipeline for him. He's taking on the Highlander reboot, which I'm super psyched for, and that goes well. I mean, he's gonna be a busy dude. So, yeah, I don't see Warner Brothers being invested enough to make it worth it creatively and financially for him to come back to the DCEU in any substantial capacity.
Yeah. Jedi Kid, I say the best for last, man, because I know you got some thoughts about this. Again, keep it brief. But what do you think, bro?
Oh man, as much as this doesn't even break my heart to even say, I just don't see WB using their tools the right way, man. Everybody wanted Superman. Everybody wants Cavill on Superman. We all know that.
I was gonna say, I know I'm a sexy motherfucker, but put the camera on him.
I'm queuing. I'm a one-man gang over here. I'm queuing up everything.
Yeah, one-man studio over there. It's all good. But it's just that I just don't see it, man. I can see Cavill doing a lot of cameos. I think he's supposed to be in Shazam, and the rumor about Black Adam, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't see them doing anybody that was connected with Zack Snyder any justice. I think Flash is going to be the last one.
Justice, I see what you did there.
You like that. But I just don't see. I think Flash would be the last one that they do that'll be connected to Zack Snyder at all.
Yeah.
And God, I hate to say it, but maybe him coming back as Superman in another, like Vinny was saying and B was saying, another movie named Superman and not Man of Steel, maybe. But they're not gonna respect him, man.
Yeah.
They don't respect him, man. And he's the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a crazy mystery. When I think about it, it's like, what is the point? you created you had momentum. When you allowed Cavill to come in, and portray this role. And I think Cavill did a phenomenal job.
Knocked it out the
He knocked
park.
it out the park as as this character. He gave it the right amount of emotion. It was so much that he did. I mean, listen. I'm a born in 1973. Of course, Christopher Reeves is always going to be my Superman. But when I think about the Second Coming, Cavill nailed it. There's no one else that I can actually think of that could pull it off. And it's just a simple fact that I don't see, like, I can't. The psychology of what Walter Hamada and WB thinks and how they actually go about formulating these stories. And,
I'm baffled, bro.
Again, it is like when you say it, and now that it makes so much sense that anyone who's basically attached, to Zack Snyder, for the exception of Wonder Woman, anybody else who's attached to Zack Snyder, they don't really want, they want to kind of get rid of, they want to retcon, they want to move out the way. So I don't know what they're doing. Like, they're just, again, I think it's just one of those situations where DC right now is still focused on playing catch up to Marvel instead of just saying, you know what, let's just focus on our own IP, just do what the hell we need to do, and not really focus on everything else that's actually going on out there, because, we've seen that, they should have seen the error of their ways. They should have. They haven't. Just like right now, they put out the Justice League DVD, and it outsold pretty much everything else. Yeah. It was the highest selling DC from their IP, and they fucked up, and they know they did.
Sorry, even though you can watch it for free on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, people are still basically getting physical media.
Even people who have HBO Max are buying.
I bought it.
Yeah, like they're actually going out and getting it because, like I said, they want that physical media.
They're about to put out the trash with Batgirl. You're gonna have Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, with no Batman at all.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing that.
Batman at all.
I'm not going to front.
Makes no sense to me though.
It's a very confusing proposition because they're originally, like, when people are talking about, oh, she's not the, like, pale redhead and stuff, because it's I think she's Dominican, the player.
Yeah.
Very good actress. She was really good in The Heights. But people were talking about that. I was like, well, this makes it seem like she would be Jeffrey Wright's daughter, like from the Reeves, the Matt Reeves Batman movie. Rather than J.K. Simmons, from the Snyderverse. And then, so I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And they are doing, like, the Gotham PD series, and now maybe even a Penguin spinoff series on HBO Max. The Batgirl movie is going to HBO Max, but now they're saying that her Batgirl, her father is going to be J.K.
Simmons
version of Gordon. So now clearly you've got two different universes that are both going to be having original content on HBO Max.
This is trash.
But also you're making J.K. Simmons her father, but you're not continuing with that Batman and that Justice League in that universe.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, why not just make her Jeffrey Wright's daughter and just keep it in that universe? Like, which makes me think it's gonna have a very different tone than the Matt Reeves film. And okay, that's fine, but like this is just more of the, like, well, you guys are just making fucking random choices. Like,
that's what they do. That's what WB does.
You have no respect for continuity, and that's what was the ultimate, like, that's what screwed over the Fox X-Men universe, is because they would basically look at it one movie at a time, be like, oh, we're gonna do this, and be like, well, that doesn't work with the movie that we just made before.
Who's gonna notice? Who's gonna notice?
Except everybody that you're trying to sell this movie to.
Right.
Is gonna notice.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be like Batwoman, bro. Batwoman. I don't even like saying the name because the show was so bad, but
it was a dumpster fire. It was straight up doo-doo stew.
No Batman, and she's Bruce Wayne's cousin. Like,
It was so bad.
No,
like,
but then the
God.
girl that they got to take over in the second season, it was still bad.
Horrible.
Oh, you
I
know
can't
what
even watch it. I can't watch that show, man.
Like, I have hopes that what they're creating will be entertaining, will be good with this new Batgirl. My issue is that they're making stupid choices in terms of continuity,
Right.
and then it's like, and you know that everything's going to get tipped on its head when the Flash movie comes out, but is it going to get tipped on its head in a way that actually fixes stuff?
That works.
But also the thing is, like, well, if you're going to use that to kind of do a bit of a reset for, then stop making confusing decisions now to make it harder for the Flash movie to do whatever it needs to do. Like,
I just wish they would listen to the. I mean, I know they're not going to, but I wish they would listen to fans, like real fans.
It's like Ledger's talk with Harvey Dent in the hospital. It's like Feige's a planner. I wouldn't know what to do with the franchise if I caught one. They just do things. They just throw shit at the wall, and they figure comic book fans, casual fans are going to go because it's a dumb popcorn flick, and people like us are going to go no matter what because it's a DC logo on it, and that's all they need to do. They figured
Warner Brothers is the dog that chased the car down the street.
Exactly.
It got up to the car and then didn't know what the fuck to do.
Exactly. Didn't even buy it. Didn't do
That's
nothing
Warner
with the
Brothers.
car. Like, okay, the Harley Quinn movie, nobody asked for that. I mean, people saw it, whatever. A movie with no Joker.
They ruined my favorite Batgirl.
No Joker, no Batman.
Interesting characters, Cassandra Cain.
Cassandra Cain wasn't Batgirl at all. Yeah. It's like, what is this? What is this bullshit? Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. They take it and they put it in one little pot and just try to make something, and it's terrible.
You know what? This is crazy because
it's called doo-doo stew.
But this is great. This is crazy because I asked in the very beginning, if we thought that the DCU could be redeemed from every aspect, whether it's we're seeing, like, listen,
could be versus will be, though.
Here's my thing.
Fan, bro.
Here's my thing. Right now, I am enjoying Titans. I love Titans.
Hell yeah.
That's the only thing they got that's going great, bro.
I am enjoying Titans for what it is, because it's just like they said, you know what? It's like the attention, but not enough attention is on it, to whereas they're like, you know what? Let's just use this shit to our advantage.
It doesn't have Warner Brothers fingerprints on it.
Right.
What were you saying, Vinny? What'd you say, Vinny?
Flying under the radar, because that is the MO of Warner Brothers. Flash, first 2 seasons, amazing, became a hit. Then they got their claws in it. Arrow, same thing. When these first shows comes out in WB or whatever, CW, I mean, when they come out, it's like, we don't know what that is. Go ahead, you do it. And then it's kind of like what Fox with, like, Deadpool. Like, they didn't know what it was.
Oh, God, yeah.
I want it to be just popular enough.
They didn't know what it was.
Stay under the radar.
Keep their hands just popular enough that Warner Brothers doesn't decide to mess with it.
And the suits have ideas of what Batman should be, of what what Superman should be. But they don't know Nightwing. They don't know Starfire. So when the creators have shows like that, they're like, we don't know, so they let the creative side of it just handle it, because they don't have their own ideas of what Raven should be. They don't know who the fuck that is, because they know that the big names that are on their list. So shows like Titans are amazing, and because of that, because it flies under the radar. And to your point, we have said so much negative over this past couple hours of are so bothersome to us of what WB is doing with these characters. Yet think about how much all of us are still ready to jump on board and get in front of the screen on Thursday night or Friday for Titans, because if you do it right, we'll be right there waiting on you. Just like with Star Wars and Mandalorian, we had 30 years of people who hated the prequels or people who hated the sequels.
Right.
You gave us Mandalorian, and everybody was like, all right, all that bullshit went away because this is what we wanted. We'll always be there waiting on you for you to get your shit together, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
The fact that we all know that they know that they got us. All we want them to do is to try to, like, meet us halfway. It doesn't have to be exactly. Titans is not page for page out the book. They've changed a lot of shit, but everything that they changed has been with a purpose and an intent to make something
Right.
quality, not something that justifies their salary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
big difference.
Because the Titans changes haven't been that sporadic or bad, bro.
Difference between somebody changing or tweaking Jason Todd's storyline because it makes sense versus changing it because, oh, here's what I would do, and just
Right.
they're like so that they could say, no, Vincent Dunn's name is on what now Jason Todd is forever. Haha, like that's how she they're thinking WB's, whereas it's like putting their stamp on it to justify their parking space and their Rolls Royce and all that kind of stuff. That's not what it's about. So there's so much potential there, and we're not all sitting around saying it don't matter. Fuck DC, we don't care. No, we're all mad because we still have passion for that company and want to see it do well. We're upset because we know how much potential there is of 80 years of amazing stories that we read and watch on cartoons. Hell, the animated division knocks it out of the park at almost every single
all the time, bro. Every animated movie they made have been amazing.
Hey, WB, can you go downstairs and like visit their
right
and see what they do to prepare for
right.
a script? Because they have they're not interested in their egos when they're putting out an animated film. They're changing shit for the benefit of the product, not for the benefit of their status in the company to climb. No one, I mean, that's what they're focused on. They're focused on making an awesome product, and there's so much potential there for the DCU, for everything to turn around, get their shit together, because there's so many shining moments along the way that we're saying, yeah, do that, and they're like thinking.
Definitely. To answer Mike's question in the chat, we're not getting Hot Toys from Titans. That ain't happening. But
Toys Era, right?
we have I have the Toys Era Robin from Titans that is amazing. And So Toys is doing their version of Robin, which is very, very similar to the Toys Era one. They're also doing Nightwing, which is hopefully coming out, and I'm hoping in the next month or two. So they're doing Nightwing, they're doing Superboy, and I think that there are also plans for them to do like the Red Hood, and one or two others. But so we're definitely getting at the very least. I think they're going to be doing like a Jason Todd Robin too at some point. One of them, I can't remember which company. But so some of those, like the Toys Era Robin is already out in the wild. I got it. I mean, I think Leo, we got that one. Like that was like early summer or spring or something. That was a while ago.
Over a year ago.
Was it?
Was that the Toys Era Robin?
True. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been
I had it for about a year.
The Nightwing from So Toys should be the next one coming out of the Titans line. That looks sick.
The Superboy too with the crypto.
Yeah, Superboy with crypto, but Nightwing I believe is going to be the next one that'll be released. But yeah, it's amazing. So we are getting figures from those. It's just they're third party.
They're third party, not Hot Toys.
Third party, you can definitely find them. So Toys and Toys Era, they do really quality work. But we're not getting them from Hot Toys. It's just not happening.
Yeah, true. So what I want to do now, really quick, again, because like I said, in the interest of time, what I'm going to do is I'll put together a few recommendations, some of the books that I actually have that I love, just some of my choices. For a lot of readers out there, like I said, if you're interested in finding some of this content, it's out there, source material. Before you watch some of these films, you know what I mean? Check out some of the pieces that you can actually find out there that are, literally source material. It's easy to find. There's some books out there, great content. I put together a few of them that, I have, in my collections that are really good books. One is the Detective Comics Mythology. This one right here was an incredible book. I loved it. This is when someone from Batman's past knew who he was. They knew everything about his story. He was trying to figure things out. A lot of history behind it. So it was not only just mainly trying to figure out who the person was, but even like certain traces of his past, trying to put pieces together. So he was just double time. But this is what we talk about, detective quality when it comes to the Batman comics and who he was as Bruce Wayne, not the Brute, but Bruce Wayne Batman as the detective. So this is definitely one of the books that I love, that you can, pretty much you can still find out there. I have this. I have, a couple of copies of this. But just basically the trilogy itself. I have this even like in a graphic novel. It was decent. The next one, that you can, definitely pick up, especially when it comes to this character, because he's a beast. And if you want to know how much of a beast he is, get this book, Black Adam, Dark Age. This was basically when, Earth heroes, like when they needed to basically, like Superman and everyone wasn't around at that particular point. Black Adam reigned havoc, but at the same time, he was like considered the anti-hero, doing things that you wouldn't, unconventional things. But yeah, it's a great ending. On top of that, come on, man, Alex Ross. I mean, need I say more?
Oh yeah.
I don't need to say anything else. Vinny.
It's a classic book.
Yep.
Yeah, you already know.
Credit to Vinny for
It's a
the
great-
short. Yeah,
it's a
Alex
great
Ross
book.
is the man.
Great book.
Absolute man.
Yeah, Alex Ross is incredible.
His artwork is impeccable.
Exactly. And then again, last but not least, of course, because we talked about it earlier, and which makes sense. It makes sense to kind of get this book. Oh, not these people. Stop playing. We've already gone down that road. I'm gonna pull up the next one in a second. Hold on a second here. But it just makes sense to cop this one. Let me see, where are we at? I don't know if it was. No, it's not there. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's the Flashpoint.
Oh, I got that. I love that book.
It's basically the Flashpoint book.
Dale's
think-
having a senior citizen technology moment.
Yeah, I am. I'm having a moment. My computer's just choking on me, so this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second.
It's the computer's fault.
Yeah, we're not going to. I'm not going to shelter all the blame myself. We're not going to do that.
You got that thing I had in a few weeks. The computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, your computer had the plague, not a virus. The plague. I don't know.
Here we go. Here we go. So again, Flashpoint. This
I
piece.
love this story, man. What a
Yeah.
great book,
art,
bro.
and that art.
Yeah, so this story is incredible. If you want the true story, and I think, when we referenced this earlier as to why they changed the name, I think it's basically they probably went back, read the source material. It's like, there's no fucking way we're going to be able to actually pull this off. Or no, we can pull it off, but there's no way that the execs are going to let us do what we want to do. So let's just change the name and not embarrass ourselves and not create more animosity with the fans. So again, this is basically one of the pieces. If you haven't already, if you don't actually have it, you can cop it. It's still out there. Still something that you can get.
Great story.
Great storyline. Straight to the point. It inspired the animated show. The animated movie itself, and that animated movie was on point, on par with the books itself. It was incredible. So yeah, like I said, that's just some reading recommendations. If you want to actually get them out there, you can. You can get in digital copies as well. But yeah, great show, guys. I had a great time tonight. We covered some really quality, and like I said, at the end of the day, I think that there is some redemption there with DC, to be found. Just don't know how, but I think with time, everything will actually come. So we'll see how that goes. Before I get to you guys, I'm going to address the chat real quick. Yeah, that's incredible.
I love that one, boy.
Oswald, man.
Listen.
You're on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Do yourself a favor and get this book.
Yes.
Because this is, I'm not going to
Yes.
give away that it is all Joker.
Yeah.
And it shows how much the other villains in Gotham fear this man who has no superpowers, but this dude, and the writing by Brian Azzarello is phenomenal. But the artwork by Lee Bermejo is just it'll blow you away how good this. I mean, that is just
Yeah.
the artwork in this is so damn cool. He's just and that's what sells me on a lot of books too. Just this way.
Yeah.
There we
It's
go.
a great gateway book too. If you like this book, then you bounce over to 100 Bullets.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And it's just called Joker. And you can get it, if you do Comixology on your iPad, you can do that. You can pick up the physical book, but get it, man. If
Definitely.
you're a DC fan, you will love that book.
Definitely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Mike Fayello. Thanks for coming by. Lynch Design, Quavo, as always. Louis Lebitz, DK. We have, these guys. We have Mike. Let's see who else we have in here. Gilbert, is that Almazan? We have Six Scale Mafia in the building. Appreciate that, man. Max Geekdom always. Tobar. We have, who else we got in here? Vapor Master, Sunamo 09. Thanks for coming through. I will see you on Thursday. On Thursday's show, J Rob. Let's basically see here. Single songwriter's my guy. Just love that dude, man. We gotta get him on the show one of these days, man.
Yeah, he's always there.
He's definitely there. Joe K. Let's see, my baby Toya, she was in the building. Will, Joe Mama, 007, love you, bro. Glad you were in the building. Toy Box. Man, just Daryl Smith Jr. Again, there goes. My man, Seamus. Definitely in the building, man. So glad to see everybody. Who was that? Thor Anacostia. Love that. Oh, that name's dope. But man, thanks for everybody for coming by. Again, always tuning in, and just making this show special, man. Like I said, I was very, very humbled over the weekend to find out that we actually hit 1,000 plus. Thank you guys for contributing. Thank you guys for coming through. Got a great show coming this Wednesday. So definitely just look forward to that. And also another show coming on Thursday night. That's going to actually be the Uncivilized Scoundrel. Well, we will actually have that giveaway. So remember, we will be giving away that Diamond Select Grogu in the pilot chair, and that will be given away live on Thursday night's Uncivilized Scoundrels. So make sure you tune in for that. Everybody out in the chat. And again, what you want to do is very important that you actually go log on to Collector Zone Cantina, become a member. Tell them that Layout sent you and get it popping. Because like I said, there will be a lucky winner on Thursday. Remember that. Thursday night will be a lucky winner. So stay tuned for that, definitely. Vince, what you got coming up next, bro?
Man, Black Panther at the Man Center this Saturday. I'm really excited for that. I was in New York this past weekend. Beautiful weather. Was checking out my Midtown Comics there. It's amazing stuff. Looking forward to Comic-Con coming up a week after.
Yes.
From now. So, man, that's right around the corner. I was just thinking about how soon that is. Gearing up for that. Again, October on the way. There's just so much going on. October is just so packed, and it all starts off like next weekend. Like just from there on, like every weekend is just something crazy going on. So I'm really excited, looking forward to it. Other than that, just work. So it's working, drawing, and casting and joining comic geek stuff, and I'm looking forward to all the content coming. And like What If has been amazing, Titans, and there's so much stuff on the way in November and December that it feels like, I don't know if the world is ready for all this stuff, but it seems like all the stuff that we're into is moving on, whether
definitely.
It's ready or not. So
definitely. Brandon, what you got going on, man? Besides some of the stuff that we got coming up, take yourself off mute too before you start. But what you got coming up, bro?
A lot of just client work this week, to be honest. I'm exhausted doing it all, but trying to keep going in Deathloop, loving that on PS5, and then I gotta find eventually I gotta find a frame for this bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh man, Killing Joke. Oh, it's awesome.
So, I got to do that at some point this week, and hopefully my Maju cases, the next round clear customs or at the dock this week, and then I can have them hopefully sometime like maybe late next week, and then it's gonna be kind of getting the last of these detolfs the hell out of here and moving around some statues and some prints on the walls and stuff, and kind of getting this collection room back to what I want it to be. So
No doubt.
that's pretty much my next like week and a half. Hopefully, if customs doesn't mess with me at the docks.
No doubt, no doubt. Jedi Kid, bro, what you got going on, bro?
Bro, just work, and I'm looking forward to this new Titans this week and new What If this week, and that's pretty much it, man. I'm just working and waiting.
Oh, that's cool, bro.
That's
That's
it, brother.
cool. That's what's up, man. Again, thanks everybody for coming through. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and share to this channel. Always, we keep that content going. There's always something new every week. Again, like I said, man, it's all for the love. I mean, that's what it's all about here at this channel. I do appreciate everybody getting us to that 1,000 mark and plus. The channel is still growing. Again, there's no hate, no animosity here. It's nothing but peace and love all day, every day. This is what we basically promote here. So all that extra stuff we never need here, man. And we actually, any content creator, anybody who's out there that is a content creator, I will support. I will basically promote. I always say that, we're a family here. We're just one huge family in this geek community. So that's just basically what we want here. We want to always promote that piece. You have, Justin's Collectibles, you have Jetta Patrol, you have Collecting Weekly, you have, yeah, man, you basically have Six Scale Mafia. You have most of those particular channels. So again, like I said, we're all for the positivity here. All day, every day. This is what we promote. This is what we want to promote. This is the type of platform that I want, and I want to give everybody a voice. So this is what we're here for. Again, thanks everybody for coming through. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Do appreciate that. And again, peace and love. Get you some rest. Hopefully I'll see you Wednesday on our Wednesday show where we'll be interviewing your boy Will Fox Vacation and talking about his history. And then, like I said, of course, we'll have the Uncivilized Scoundrels, me and my man Marcos, or not Marcos, I'm sorry. Me and my man, bro, I'm so tired. I'm
tired, boy.
Me and my man Mario on Thursday night, definitely. So, stay tuned for that. And the giveaway. Remember, the giveaway will happen live Thursday night. One lucky winner will take away that prize. It's been sitting here too long. I was about to keep it myself, but we reached 1,000, so I'm a man of my word. Somebody's going to get that. But anyway, on behalf of Vinny, my man Brendan, Jedi Kid, we in the building. We out. You guys, peace and love. God bless. Until next Monday, stay classy. On top of that, remember that Wednesday is what? Comic Day. Go out and get those comics, and let's share some love on Monday. We out of here. Peace.